Let's count down in 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, I think you can earn up to £40,000, and I think those wages are increasing because of demand. It's literally economics, isn't it? Supply versus demand. So I think that's a very good.
Dreams. Everyone has dreams. You carry them with you always. An escape from the ordinary and routine. As a child, I dreamed of being a veterinarian, or maybe an astronaut. I never planned to be a lorry driver. It was purely accidental. The writing came later. Through the ever-changing landscape and the long hours on the road. Oh, and by the way, my name is Lisa Melbourne.
There are between 60 and 90,000 vacancies for HGV drivers right now, and the Road Haulage Association suggested the situation is sufficiently critical that the army might be called in to drive trucks. We need more drivers. There's a push to get more women driving trucks. It costs about £3,000 to train as a lorry driver.
I have more than 20 years of experience working in the haulage industry. This is a world of unsocial hours, late nights, early starts, and an ever-diminishing social life.
Do you have this, do you have this Swindon printed? Swindon.
Far from family, friends, and one's own home. When the general public imagines a truck driver, they imagine someone middle-aged, overweight, unwashed, with an unhealthy lifestyle. But allow me to dispel that cliché. We are, in fact, professional. We are not the dirt on our boots, and we are not defined by our work. But the nature of it liberates us from many of the expected social norms. In other words, truck driving is neither glamorous nor romantic. It is a basic life that can involve early morning strip washes in an empty lay-by or getting caught short in a 3-hour tailback on the M5. However, I discovered the joy of the open road and the freedom of a working life not constrained within 4 dull walls. This freedom is a one-way street. Once you have a taste of it, there is no way back. Thank you.
Her mouth, her nostrils, her nipples, and between her legs. Wow!
She looked like a vampire's cock by the end of it.
I know.
At what point in the history of witchcraft?
Occasionally, I am astonished by the beauty of our landscape, and sometimes I wish that the truck had a bigger windscreen. It becomes a space for my creative writing, allowing me to imagine other places. This is my safe space for dreaming. Last night, I had a nightmare. Strange, shadowy beings surrounded me. For a moment, I felt lonely. For many truckers, there is a world of difference between being lonely and being alone. The first can be soul-destroying. The other can be liberating.
Voted for change in 2016, and when people voted for change again in 2019, as they did, they voted for the end of a broken model of the UK economy that relied on low wages and low skill and chronic low productivity. And we're moving away from that.
Let me ask you a direct question. When were you first warned about the HGV driver crisis?
I have never been married, neither did I have children. I have chosen an unconventional life. It is a deliberate decision. I've always been independent. I wouldn't be a lorry driver if it wasn't for that. Sleeping in a truck in the middle of nowhere doesn't sound like a job for the girls. And it's certainly true that women represent only 3% of all truck drivers in the UK. Nights can be unnerving, but also inspiring. The isolation of working at night can be a source of creativity. Writing is my way out. When life becomes too unbearable or too mundane, this is my freedom.
Hey, you need to pay to stay here overnight.
Okay.
Hi, Mum.
Oh. But you're tired now.
I am. Been a long day.
Worn out.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
In the UK, many petrol stations have run dry, and critics blame the shortage of drivers and the ensuing chaos on Brexit. For businesses like the one you're about to see, it's a disaster.
I spend my precious free time visiting and looking after my mum. Even at the age of 82, she lives independently in her own home. For most women, work never really stops.
So imagine you've got 4 burners on a cooker. Family, friends, health, job. And I think if you're a truck driver, you have to make the effort.
I suppose you've got to make an effort in anything, really, because you've got to make time, haven't you? It's not always there. You just have to make the time to spend with those children, don't you, really?
When I leave my house in the morning to go and do my job, I have no idea what time I'm getting back. You can't plan anything during your working week.
So it's
nothing
not
at
a
all.
woman's job, really, if you're married.
I think a lot of women these days are still expected, and the world is still geared around people having families and having children. At the same time, if you really don't want to do this, it's okay. I wanted to have my space and my freedom to do what I wanted to do. I've always wanted that.
I mean, it would have been nice had you had a little family, but it wasn't to be, was it? I think that's the freedom we had, really, isn't it? I don't think we have to reach heights. Just proud to have a daughter and be the fact that she's living a good, decent life, I think, really, basically.
Hey, you don't know the half of it.
No.
I wonder what motivates women to take to a life on the road. Is their truck their spaceship, light years away from reality? Or is this just my story?
Weather the view from up above.
Material, energy and resources are missing. There's an energy shortage throughout the world. In China, there have been unprecedented blackouts, and the government has recommended stockpiling essential goods. There's a lack of supplies of diesel in the United Kingdom due to the transportation crisis. Reality and fiction are closer than ever. Is this the beginning of a system collapse?